I was balling. Thank you for vibing with me. 2025 NBA playoff talk. Yes, I'm a Sixer fan, but I love basketball in general, man. And I will be covering the playoffs. I will be doing play-by-play. Scoreboard's gonna be on the screen and everything. It's definitely going down over here on Mike Sports Vibes Balling. So if you're interested, especially if you're a Sixer fan, or if you just like basketball, or you enjoying the vibes, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But listen, man, the first round of the playoffs, I'm gonna keep it real with you. The first round in the playoffs is pretty darn good. There's some matchups that, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing them maybe in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Western Conference Finals. Because some of these matchups in the first round, what I like about it is literally they're evenly matched and it could go either way. Literally can go either way. So let's start with the Eastern Conference, right? Should we start with the play-in tournament? Let's start with the play-in tournament. Even though I'm going to keep it real. The first seed, which is the Cavs, and the second seed, which is the Celtics, no matter what teams get out of the play-in tournament for both the 8th and 7th seed. So I think it's all right, so for the Eastern Conference, it's the Magic versus the Hawks, and it's the Bulls versus the Heat. So the winner of the Bulls and Heat will play the Cavs, and the winner of the Magic and Hawks will play the Celtics. Either one of those teams, they're not beating the Celtics or the Cavs, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But when you talk about other first-round matchups in the first round, the Bucks and the Pacers is one of the best underrated first-round matchups, evenly matched, and it could literally go either way. Shout out to TY. Shout out to TY in the building. Make sure you hit that like button when you come in the building. We talking about the playoffs. Yes, I'm a Sixer fan. The Sixers are not in the playoffs, but I love basketball. But we're going to see what happens, man. The first round between the Bucks and the Pacers, I think it can go 7 games. I hope it goes 7 games. And I'm going to just keep it all the way real with y'all. I'm keeping it 1,000, right? It all depends on Dame. It all depends if Dame is healthy. If Dame plays and he's healthy, he can't just play. He got to be healthy. If Dame plays for the Bucks versus the Pacers, if he plays, they obviously have a better chance. And even with him being healthy, I think this series can go at least 6 games. At least 6 games. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I cover the Philadelphia 76ers and the Phillies, but I will be covering the Eastern Conference and Western Conference playoffs, and I will be live doing play-by-play with the scoreboard and everything. So if you're interested, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But yeah, I got the Bucks either in 6 or 7. But when I tell you this series could go either way, I truly mean it. I feel like the Pacers are a solid, deep team. And I just feel like if Tyrese Haliburton plays at a top level, Tyrese Haliburton, I feel like, is a star. Siakam is a star as well. They're both good players. Miles Turner has to really step his game up defensively. Well, he's a really good defender. But the slow down Giannis, that's just hard to do. Shout out to everybody. Hi, everybody. Make sure I hit that like button so we can get more people on the stream. And shout out to each and every one of y'all. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to my first 400 subscribers on this channel. I cover the Sixers and the Phillies on this channel. But we will be covering the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. And right now we're talking about the NBA playoffs first round. And right now we're talking about the matchup between the Bucks and the Pacers. Right? So getting back to what I was saying, Miles Turner, he's going to have to slow down Giannis. He's going to have to be very demanding in that paint, alter a lot of shots. He doesn't have to get shot blocks necessarily. He has to just alter the shot and make it hard for Giannis and the Bucks to drive into that lane, right? What's his name? Nembhard. I'm expecting him to have a big series for the Pacers. The Pacers are just a deep team. They're a deeper team than the Bucks. But the thing that the Bucks have, they have debatably a top 3 player on their team, and that's Giannis. Sixer fans can't wait for Flag. He's coming. Hello, good morning. He said Sixers fans can't wait until flat. I'm not even worried about that right now. We ain't worried about the Sixers getting to the play. We know we ain't going nowhere. We trying to capture the flag. We ain't worried about the Sixers right now. We ain't worried about. We just got to make sure we got a 64% chance of getting that top pick. A keeper in our pick and 10% chance of getting that top overall pick. But shout out to everybody in the. I'm gonna talk about the West too. I'm starting with the East. But shout out to you, Avery. Shout out to Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Make sure y'all hit the like button if you're in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. But listen, so the Pacers, they're just all around solid team. But like I said, the Bucks have Giannis. And when Giannis is healthy, he's a top 3 player in the NBA, in my honest opinion. So that series literally could go either way. Either way that series can go. Like, I wouldn't be surprised either way. Who I think is going to win is the Bucks, and that's only because I got so much respect for Dame, and if they don't have Dame at 100% or close to it, the Pacers might get them in 7 games. I'm telling y'all. This is one of the hardest matchups for both teams. I don't think this is going to be a 5-game series. It's going to be at the very least 6 games. 6 games. He said Cooper Flag to the Sixers. LeBron may be the best walk. I hope Cooper Flag to the Sixers. But all right, now let's get to the other team in the East. Now listen, y'all. Let's get to the other team in the East, man. Pistons versus Knicks, first round playoff talk. Let me just say this off the bat. I don't believe in the Knicks. I understand the Knicks have Jalen Brunson, Anthony Towns. You know, they got Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. They got Hart. They got a lot of ballers on that team. But and I know if they bring it, they could definitely beat the Pistons. Like, if they bring their A game, the Knicks could definitely beat the Pistons. The problem is the Knicks defense has been struggling all year long. They went from one of the best defensive teams to like an average or below average defensive team. So if they don't bring it, especially against the Pistons are hot right now, man. The Pistons are hot right now, and Cade Cunningham is playing like a superstar, and I think he is a young superstar. His career averages for the 2024-25 season, 26 points, 6 rebounds and 9 assists. Absolutely amazing, putting the team on his back. And Tobias Harris being solid, not good. I ain't gonna say all that. He's being solid, and other role players on the team that I can't think off the top of my head right now. But the Pistons have a good chance of doing things. Thompson, that's another player that's pretty darn good. Stewart, that's the guy that, you know, he brings that energy, that toughness, that grit that the Detroit Pistons have. Look, they have an honest chance to beat the dang on Knicks. But that's if the Knicks don't bring their A game. Because if the Knicks bring their A game, they can compete with anybody in the Eastern Conference. And I'm just keeping it real. I don't want the Knicks to win. I can't stand the Knicks. I cannot stand the Knicks, bro. Okay, say do right me. Don't. All right, so let's get to. So I got the Pistons beating the Knicks in possibly 7-6 games. These series could go either way, right? 7-6 games. Same with the Bucks and Pacers. Now let's get to the West. When it comes to the Clippers versus Nuggets, I want the Nuggets to win. I want the Nuggets to win so bad in this series. Because I respect James Harden. I respect Leonard. But James Harden was hating on the Sixers, and I'm a Sixer fan. So once you start hating on the Sixers, I can't deal with you, bro. I can't deal with you, bro. I can't deal with the nonsense. Once you start hating on the Sixers, I got to go against you. You know what I'm saying? And Leonard hit that lucky shot that bounced like 4 times off the rim, and somehow, some way, it went in. So I'm going for the Clippers to lose. But I'm going to tell you right now, my biggest concern, and I'm going to keep it all the way real, the Clippers ain't no joke, man. Norman Powell, Leonard, James Harden, and the guys, especially if Leonard is playing. If Leonard is playing at the level that we know he can play at, they could get past the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets could win. I think the Nuggets could pull it off, but they have to get production. I'm not worried about Jokic. I know Jokic is going to do Jokic things. You know what I mean? Pelicans fired their ex-president. Knicks can't beat MVP Tobias. Oh, my gosh. Stop the cap, bro. But, yeah, so when you think about it, right? Getting back to what I'm saying. Jokic is going to do Jokic things. But who's going to be the Robin? Who's going to be the Robin on the Nuggets? Because I'm going to tell you right now that the Clippers got a lot. They got a lot, more than what I was thinking that they had. And the reason why is because of Leonard. The Clippers don't have no chance without Leonard. But with a healthy Leonard, they could go through the whole... Look, they might mess around and get to the Western Conference Finals. That's how good Leonard is. People forget how good he is. They say he lost a step. Maybe he did. But he's still that dude. And that's the guy that I'm nervous about because I know how clutch he is. So my whole thing is this. Is Jamal Murray going to step his game up? Is Jamal Murray going to step his game up? Because if he doesn't, what about Aaron Gordon? Is he going to step his game up? Michael Carter, shout out to Grasshopper in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get it. So, say Michael Carter Williams don't step his game up. Like, I'm telling you, the Clippers could definitely beat the Nuggets. I got the Nuggets slightly winning in possibly 7 or 6 games. Like, these first round matchups could go either way. I can honestly see it going either way. Yeah, but Murray stays. That don't make no sense, bro. Murray and Nick Nurse stays. It makes no sense. But getting back to what I was saying. So, Nuggets versus Clippers. I'm leaning towards Nuggets, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers somehow, some way, got the dub and moved on to the next round. Now, when it comes to the Timberwolves, look, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. When it comes to the Timberwolves versus the Lakers, listen, I got the Lakers winning, bro. And listen, I'm a big Ant-Man fan. I'm a supporter. I like Ant-Man. I think he got that dog in him. I think he's really that dude, right? But the problem with the Timberwolves is who's their second best player? Jalen, what's his name? Julius Randle. I don't know. Is he gonna be consistent enough? Dante DiVincenzo off the bench. Is he gonna be consistent enough? Rudy, I don't trust Rudy. Rudy brings no offensive ability, in my honest opinion, except for alley-oops and easy layups if he's wide open. Besides that, he just brings defense, and sometimes he just gets cooked on defense. But he don't got to worry about no center. He don't got to worry about a dominant center in this series. There isn't no dominant center that he's going against. The Lakers don't have no dominant center. So he's lucky there. But I still feel like he's a big liability offensively, and I don't think the Timberwolves is going to have enough to keep up with the Lakers. That's just my honest opinion. Even though Luka and LeBron don't play no defense all like that, Luka and LeBron's a good combination, and I think Luka's just going to average. He's going to probably average 38 points a game. I can see it. I can see Luka averaging 38 points a game. I can see LeBron James averaging high 20s, in the high 20s every game. I think the Lakers are going to beat the brakes off the Timberwolves. I think they're going to win this series probably in 5, bro. I can see the Lakers winning in 5 in this series. Just my honest opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't see the Timberwolves beating the Lakers. And then when you talk about the play-in tournament, right? So for the Rockets, they'll play the winner of the Warriors and the Grizzlies. For the Thunder, they'll play the winner of the Kings and the Kings and the Mavericks. Face the Kings and the Mavericks. So I'm gonna keep it real with you. The Rockets have a chance to lose in the first round, depending on who they go against. I think the Warriors could give the Rockets a run for their money. The Grizzlies, they good, but I think the Warriors got that championship pedigree. They got one of the greatest players of all time in Steph Curry. If they go against Jimmy Buckets, if you go against Green and Steve Kerr as a great coach, I think that the Warriors will be the harder matchup for the Rockets. The Rockets had a very good season, but I think the Warriors can surprise the world and actually shock the Rockets and win that series, in my honest opinion. But I think the Grizzlies The Grizzlies will lose to the Rockets in like 6 games, 6 games. The Warriors versus Rockets. Hold on. The Warriors versus Rockets could easily be a 7-game series, 6 games, either way. That's a toss flip right there for that series. When it comes to the Thunder versus the Kings or the Mavericks, that's a sweep. That's a sweep, bro. Like, nobody's beating the Thunder, bro. Nobody's beating the Thunder out of those 2 teams. So that's pretty much my short little rant about what I think about the playoffs, what I think is going to happen in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. I really don't feel like, I feel like this first round for the playoffs is very good. It's actually underrated. And I'm thankful for covering. I got to cover both those teams, bro. Both those series. Celtics versus whatever. I'm not really caring about that series. And Cavs versus whoever in the first round. I don't really care about that series. I know the Cavs are going to beat the brakes off of them. Ain't no competition right there, man. But the second round is going to be different for the Cavs and the Celtics. But that's what happens when you're the best 2 teams in the East. You know what I mean? You go against the worst teams in the East, and the worst teams in the East, they barely a 500 team. So you're not going against a team that has a chance to really threaten you. I'll be surprised if any of the teams get a game on the Celtics or the Cavs in the first round. Whoever wins that play-in tournament, I'll be literally surprised. Why would the Sixers keep the coach? Well, the process will continue, as I said a while ago. Warriors are too small. Warriors are too small? I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. I think the Warriors, in my honest opinion, they got the biggest championship pedigree out of every team in the dang on playoffs. And you need that experience. And I got a feeling that Steph Curry's going to go off. I have a feeling Steph Curry's going to go off. And you can't forget about Jimmy Butler. You can't forget what he turns into in the playoffs. Jimmy Buckets, you know what I mean? And then you can't forget about the coaching. You can't forget about Green. As long as Green doesn't get technical fouls all crazy and gets kicked out the game, Green is still going to bring it on the defensive side of the ball. He brings that toughness and grit that they need. But I think the Warriors, honestly, got a chance to do something in the West if they get past the Grizzlies. I think they could do something against the Rockets. I really do. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough because I'm going to keep it real with you, man. Rockets is a good team. I'm trying to wait until see what they do in the playoffs because I almost like it's like a wait and see type deal for me with the Rockets. I know they're good. Surprised me how good they was throughout the year. Consistency, how young they are, how gifted they are, and just very athletic and just a very good team overall, defensively and offensively. But the problem, if they go against a veteran team like the Warriors, I feel like the Warriors could do something. I really do. Thunder is not ready for this level of competition. Well, the Thunder go against either the Kings or the Mavericks. They're going to destroy them. They're going to destroy them. The second round is more of a question mark. The first round, I don't see anybody. The Kings or the Mavericks have no chance, bro. The Kings or the Mavericks have no chance at all. To beat the Thunder, it's not happening. Not happening. But I can honestly tell you that both conferences have a lot of question marks on who's going to get to the next round. And I'm excited, man. I'll definitely be covering both playoffs in the West and the East. And hopefully, I want to see some Game 7s. I'm thinking we're going to all see at least 2 Game 7s between the West and the East. At least 2. At least 2. I think these series are so evenly matched. I think they're so evenly matched. Boston will win the World Championship. They could. The Boston Celtics are a very good team. But I don't know. I don't know about Boston getting out the East, man. First and foremost, Boston Celtics, they have to get past, they got to get through the East, bro. They got to get through the Cavs, depending on who wins out of the Knicks and the Pistons. I don't know how the bracket would be, or the winner of the Pacers and Bucks. They got a lot, man. There's a lot more to go. We didn't even start the playoffs yet. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to speak that into existence because y'all know how I feel about the Boston Celtics. Anybody could win. Just don't let it be the Boston Celtics. Anybody. Oh, you said Pacers versus Bucks is going to... Yes. Yes, I believe that. Darth Pickle 12. Yeah, I believe that, bro. Pacers versus Bucks is going to be a 7-game. Look, I think that's going to be a 7-game series. I think that the Knicks and Pistons could be a 7-game series. I think the Clippers and Nuggets could be a 7-game series. There's a couple of series that I think that could be at least a 6 or 7-game series. The Clippers and Nuggets, man, that could go either way, bro. Just like what you're saying, bro. Like the Pacers and Bucks, I think it's the most underrated first round series, bro. Honestly, it's hard to pick. Only reason why I'm going Bucks is because of their star power, Giannis and Dame. But if Dame is not 100%, bro, Pacers could get him, bro. Pacers can honestly win that series in 7 or 6, bro, if Dame is not healthy. As much as I love Giannis, love Giannis as a player, I don't think he's going to be enough to beat the Pacers, especially if Tyrese Haliburton and Siakam and Miles Turner's doing what he does offensively and defensively, really defensively for Miles Turner. If Miles Turner can slow him down, slow Giannis down, which is easier said than done, you know, it could, man, and if he can hit those threes, like he's a solid three-point shooter for a center, this could be a series where it could be ended in 6, and I'm talking about the Pacers could win it in 6 too. So it just depends on the star power of the Bucks being healthy, meaning Dame, and if they're not, the deeper team is going to win this series. It's going to be the Pacers because the Pacers are just a deeper, all-around team. And I called out Miles Turner because I like him defensively. I like him offensively when he's hitting them threes. I'm actually surprised. Like when he was going against the Sixers, I'm a Sixer fan. Seeing him go against the Sixers and do his thing, I'm like, oh man, come on, bro. So we'll see what happens, man. This is just my opinion, coming from a Sixers fan, man. But I got the Bucks beating the Pacers if they're healthy in 6 or 7. I got the Pistons beating the Knicks, but only if the Knicks don't bring their A game. Only because I'm telling you, even as a Sixers fan, I don't like the Knicks at all. But the Pistons don't have enough to beat a Knicks team that's coming with their A game. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, if they bring their A game and they play some dang on defense, they have a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm just keeping it real, bro. And that's coming from a Sixer fan, bro. You know what I mean? Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I cover the Sixers and the Phillies on this channel, and I will be doing card reveals as well. I will be buying packs of cards and opening them up on a live stream, and I will be doing play-by-play for the Sixers and Phillies throughout the year. But the Sixers, they're done. But I will be doing play-by-play for the playoffs as well with the scoreboard and all that on my laptop. It's definitely going down on Mike Sports Vibes Ballin'. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Trying to get to my first 400 subscribers on this channel. Thank you for all y'all support. If you did hit the like button, if you did subscribe, thank you for all the new subscribers. Even if you're not a Sixer fan and you just feeling the vibes, consider subscribing. And like I said, when I go live for the Sixer games and we play your team, be on the live stream. We going at it. We going at it. But shout out to y'all. Memphis versus Golden State. Hold on. I'm taking my talents to Boston. Wow. What? Come on, T.Y. You hopping on bandwagons. Memphis versus Golden State on play. And yes. You know, Memphis versus Warriors. I think I would love to see the Warriors win. The Grizzlies could win that game. But honestly, bro, I'm going to keep it real with you. If the Warriors win that series, I think they give the Rockets a harder chance, bro, than the Grizzlies. And I'm only saying that because of the veteran leadership of Steph Curry. And I understand, like, Jimmy Butler turns into Jimmy Buckets in the playoffs. And I just feel like they have a great coach. I think they're going to make the Rockets work harder to get their shots, to make their shots. Defensively, the Warriors are going to step it up a notch. And I just think that they have, I don't know, a more complete team than the Grizzlies. I know the Grizzlies got some ballers over there. You know what I mean? I love Ja. But I just want to see Steph, man. Maybe because I like Steph a lot. I might be 100% wrong with this, though. I might be 100% wrong. You know what I mean? But I'm a big Steph guy, so. Okay, bro. Be safe, bro. Peace out. Peace out, T.Y. Salute to you. God bless, bro. But, yeah. So we're going to definitely see what happens when it comes down to the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. There's so many scenarios that this could play out, though, man. When it comes to all these teams, bro, the first round is one of the best first rounds that I've seen in a while, man. In the playoffs, like, a lot of these series could go either way, bro. Even the play-in tournament is like, it could go either way. Between the Warriors and the Grizzlies, that could literally go either way. When you talk about the first round, let's go back to the East real quick. Let's go back to the East. Let's go back to the Pistons and Knicks. So the Pistons, for me, is like the dark horse team. I'm not saying they could get to the finals. I'm not going to go that far. But they're a dark horse team because I think their team is pretty darn deep. And teamwork make the dream work, man. They really work as a team from the top bottom. You know what I mean? And I love the way they built their team. And I love the way Cade Cunningham has turned it up a notch. You know what I mean? Cade Cunningham is amazing, man. And I feel like if he can bring it like I know he can bring it, and I'm going against the Knicks. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. I'm going against the Knicks, man. I'm going against the Knicks. But if he can do it, if he can bring his A game, Thompson brings his A game, Stewart brings his A game, Tobias brings his A game. I'm missing some other players that are very good role players, but y'all get where I'm coming from. Like you said, anything's possible. He said, I feel like if the Warriors had Jimmy Butler all season, they will already be in the... Yes, right. I agree with that. Anything is possible, right. I really want the Warriors to do it, bro. I really do. Like, I want the Warriors to get past the Grizzlies. It's nothing personal against the Grizzlies. I don't have nothing against the Grizzlies. As a Sixer fan, like, I'm just giving you my perspective. I just think that matchup, for me, I would like to see Steph Curry in the playoffs and Jimmy Buckets in the playoffs. Just imagine how bro, we know how Jimmy is in the playoffs. We know it. So I would love to see that series, bro. I would love to see that series. But yeah, getting back to the Pistons and Knicks, man, like, I just have a feeling there's going to be some upsets, bro. I think the Pistons could take the Knicks, man. I think they're going to do it, bro. I just feel like the Knicks, I don't know, man. Something is wrong. I don't know if it's the locker room. I don't know. But they haven't been the same. They haven't been right, though, bro. Defensively, they haven't been playing well. I know Jalen Brunson's been hurt, but we're not going to pretend to say Jalen Brunson's the reason why their defense hasn't been good. I just think I don't know. Maybe they're saving it for the playoffs. I have no clue. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Towns, he has to bring it. If Towns does not bring it, Pistons got a very good chance of beating the Knicks in the first round. I think the Rockets could go far. I think the Rockets could go far too. My whole mindset with the Rockets is I have to see it to really believe it, though. I know they had a regular season that was amazing. The second best record in the Western Conference is absolutely outstanding, terrific. But at the same time, let's see what you do in the playoffs. And that's kind of like how I'm feeling about OKC. OKC's going against the Kings or the Mavericks after the play-in tournament. Whoever wins out of them two teams, so they're going to get out the first round. My thing is OKC. What you going to do in the second round, third round? Like, what are you going to do when you go against some real competition when the game is really on the line? Every win, every loss counts when the playoffs start. So we're going to see how OKC. Let's see how good they are. We're going to really see. We're going to see how good the Rockets are. Yeah, you can have the best record. Yeah, I don't really listen. How I look at the NBA. How you doing? How I look at the NBA is as long as you get to the playoffs. Yes, I would like to have the best record throughout. But really, I'm going to tell you this right now. The only benefit of having the best record is you get that game 7 in the final. In the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think in the NBA Finals. I think that's how it goes, right? If you have the best record, right? That's it. And that can work to your benefit or hurt you. Because some players play better away, and some players play better at home. And when the palms start getting sweaty, and you start getting nervous at home, and your crowd starts booing you, things can get a little bit spooky in the playoffs. But like I said, I just like, as a Sixer fan, when Ben Simmons was in his prime and Joel Embiid was doing their thing and all that, had the best record in the NBA. I forgot what year that was. But we got knocked out in the second round, bro. So like, I look at it like this, man. Get into the playoffs healthy and on a winning streak maybe. But healthy is the most important. Being healthy at the end of the year is the most important. You got to get to the playoffs. I'm not saying regular season doesn't matter, but regular season doesn't matter as much when it comes to winning a championship. As long as you get in the playoffs and you're a decent team and you don't got to be a play-in team. Like if you're like a top 5 team in both conferences or top 6 team in both conferences, you have a chance. You just got to be healthy. You just got to be healthy. Be healthy. And then it comes down to the matchups, because matchups make series, man. You might be the first seed, but then you go against a team that's not that high of a seed, and that matchup might not be good for you, bro. I think the Cavs are still worse than the. Oh wow! Only Philly fans boo in the players. Yeah. But we hold our teams accountable, bro. If they're not playing right, we booing them. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. We expect the best. But getting to my guy, Dark Pickles. Now listen, bro. I don't even like saying that name. I don't know what. I don't like saying that name. But I'm gonna say to my bull 12. I'm gonna say my bull Darth. Is it Darth? I thought it was Dark. Darth. So my bull Darth. All right, so listen. In my honest opinion, right? What's going on, Samuel? Or just say Darth. Yup. He said, I think the Cavs are still worse than the Celtics. I guess, and you're so right when it comes down to it. They have to, in order to be the champions, you have to beat the champions. By the way, everybody in the building, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. In order for you to be the best, you have to beat the best. Until the Celtics are dethroned, they are the best in the East right now. Record-wise, of course, you'll put the Cavs. But in my honest opinion, I got the Cavs. I got the Cavs winning, bro. I got the Cavs. Look, and it's because I'm a Sixer fan. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I understand the Celtics, what they have. I like Jalen Brunson as a player. I like Jason Tatum as a player. I like Drew Holiday as a player. Drew Holiday, to me, one of my favorite players in the NBA. I got his autograph on my wall. I got a picture of him with his autograph dunking on somebody from the Mavericks. When he was with the Sixers, I got an autograph for Drew Holiday. Right? He got drafted by the Sixers. So I got a lot of respect for Drew Holiday. Porzingis, got respect for him. If he's healthy, he could bring you some offense and some defense. Al Horford could bring you some defense and some offense, hitting a couple of threes. Who else am I missing? White. He's just a all-around good player. You know what I mean? But and I know there are two wings. There's two stars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I understand, but and I want them to lose. But I think the Cavs are a deeper team. I don't know if the Cavs are going to beat them in a 7-game series. I really don't know. But I'm going to tell you this right now. The move that made me feel like the Cavs were going to beat the Celtics if they go, and I hope it does happen like that. I hope it's the Cavs versus the Celtics. I don't want nobody beating the Celtics. Well, I ain't going to lie. I kind of do. But I would love to see the Cavs and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals because that DeAndre Hunter move that the Cavs made, DeAndre Hunter, in my opinion, was that the move that put the Cavs over the top, bro. My favorite player on the Cavs is Garland. He's not the best player, but he's my favorite player. I like Garland. Hello. I like Garland. Garland's my guy. But I'm just keeping it real, bro. Keeping it real. I understand what the Celtics have. You feel me? Oh, yeah. I'm going ready to full drive. Oh, okay. Baton Rouge. Oh, wow. Be safe, bro. Yeah, White. Yup. It's the kid. Yeah. Like, dumb dudes off the bench. And White, he's just a good player, bro. He does everything. Baylor. Yeah. So we gonna definitely see what happens, bro. That series could go either way. But DeAndre Hunter is what really got me for the Cavs. And if Mobley and Jared Allen can hold down the paint against the Celtics, if they both made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm thinking a little bit ahead because the first round didn't start yet. But if that happens, the first seed versus the second seed, Boston Celtics, second seed, first seed, the Cavaliers. If that happens, that could be a 7-game series. I'm leaning towards the Cavs because of the DeAndre Hunter, but I understand what the Celtics have. So it's not like even though I don't like the Celtics, it's not really personal. But y'all know the rivalry between the Sixers and the Celtics go way back, all the way back to like Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell days. And yeah, they definitely won the rivalry because they got a lot of championships. But still, I want the Celtics to lose. I ain't gonna sit here and cap. I'm not gonna cap, but I know they can easily win back-to-back championships because they have a lot of talented players on both ends of the court. And I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna do the play-in tournament live stream. I think it starts tomorrow or Wednesday. So I'll probably do a play-by-play for one of those for the Eastern Conference. And if I do the play-in tour, if I do the playoffs, I will do the playoffs for the West. But it just depends on the time zone because I live in the East Coast and I have a family. So depending on the game, I'm not going to do a live for a 10 o'clock game. Just not doing it. But unless it's the finals, which they don't have finals. For the finals, they don't have it at 10 o'clock. So, but I'm going to tell you this right now. No problem, bro. No problem. But I'm going to tell you this right now, man. The Celtics and Cavs is the series I wouldn't mind seeing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then for the West, the Western Conference Finals, I would love to see OKC. And who else? Who else from the West? I don't think the Lakers are going to make it, man. I know the NBA world wants that to happen because they're the Lakers. The Lakers are like one of the most popular teams. But still, I don't think they're going to do it. Even with Luka playing at a high level, I don't see it happening. So, the West is wild. I call the West the Wild Wild West. Oh, thank you for subscribing, bro. Appreciate it. I call the Western Conference the Wild Wild West because anything can happen in the West. The Eastern Conference is a different story. Like I don't think, like honestly, the only two teams I think that could come out the East, to be honest with you, is the Celtics and the Cavs. And I'll be surprised if the Knicks do it. I'll be surprised if the Pacers do it. I would be surprised if, who else? If Detroit Pistons do it. Like, I would be surprised. I'm not going to sit here and cap. Like, I'm not saying that they're not good teams, but but the favorites are the Cavs and the Celtics, right? And as a Sixer fan, I'm just being honest. Just being honest here. The West is just different. The West is just cool. Like you can see the Nuggets possibly going on a crazy run. Like, Jokic is the best player debatably in the NBA. Jamal Murray, if he could get on his A game in the playoffs, you never know. Aaron Gordon, if he could do what he need to do, you never know. Another guy is Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. has to really be on his scoring game because the Nuggets, to get past the Clippers, that series is going 6 or 7 easily, bro. I hope it goes 7. And it depends on if Leonard is playing at a high level. By the way, everybody, if you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to my first 400 subscribers on this channel. I cover the Sixers and the Phillies on this channel. And I'm also will be covering the playoffs for Eastern Conference and Western Conference. Doing a play-by-play on my laptop with the scoreboard. So it's definitely going to be lit. And I can't wait to do it. Even though my Sixers are out of it, I still love basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. Baseball is my third favorite sport. My second favorite sport is football. But on my other channel, this channel is called Mike Sports Vibes Balling. My other channel is called Mike Sports Vibes, and I cover the Vikings. So if you're wondering, why am I a Viking fan from Pennsylvania? Because it's Philly everything besides football. It's because of Randy Moss. Just wanted to put that out there. So if you're interested in football, consider subscribing to the other channel as well, Mike Sports Vibes. And I'm going live for absolutely every Viking game. So if we go against your team, hope to see you in the comments. He said Lakers. Lakers or Timberwolves, y'all? Who you got winning? I'm gonna just name the series. Who you got winning? Lakers or Timberwolves? Joseph, the Wild Wild West. OKC Warriors. Yeah, OKC Warriors is a monster. I want the Celtics versus. Nah, come on, bruh. Come on, Darth. Come on, Darth. Why would you say that? You going against. You want the Celtics and the Lakers? Don't they have enough championships? Don't the Lakers and the Celtics have enough? You must be a Lakers or Celtics fan. I like, shout out Bucks. We got the Bucks. Celtics looking tough. Yeah, Celtics are tough. Celtics are tough. I'm a Lakers fan. Oh, snap. Man, honestly, I'm so relieved that, oh, hold on, my bad. I'm so relieved the Warriors lost. I'm not going to lie. And I know Minnesota ain't no joke, but Curry gets, yes, that's what I be trying to tell people, man. I think the Warriors, if they beat the Grizzlies and go against the Rockets, that could be a surprise, bro, an upset. Patriots might be okay today. Yeah, it might be. They might. I like Drake May. Celtics, I just like the right. Oh, okay. It's probably the greatest rivalry, definitely in basketball. I don't know about the greatest rivalry in the world. I don't really know all the rivalries. I don't know. But I'll tell you this right now, because I could put the Cowboys and Eagles, that's a great rivalry. I could put the Steelers and the Ravens, that's a good rivalry. I could put the Sixers versus the Celtics, that's a good rivalry. So a few different rivalries. And then when you talk about baseball, you got the Yankees. Hold up, Yankees and who? I don't even know. But yeah, Timberwolves versus Lakers. I got Lakers winning that series. Clippers, Nuggets. I got Nuggets winning, but it's close. It's super close. Red Sox. Yeah, I think the Red Sox. You're right. Red Sox, Yankees. It's Red Sox and Yankees rivalry. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to say Phillies, but even though I'm a Phillies fan, There ain't no real rivalry. You feel me? Not to my knowledge. It's more New York Mets or the Braves. Yankees and Red Sox. Oh yeah, Yankees and Red Sox. Yeah, Yankees and Red Sox. Yeah, that's it. Cause I remember they used to go at it in the AL. Now I don't know what's going on. Listen, my Phillies are doing pretty good. The Dodgers are struggling, but they're the defending champs. It's a lot going on in baseball too, man. So Clippers and Nuggets, who y'all got? Clippers and Nuggets, who y'all got in that series? What's going on, brother? What's up, man? Who y'all got? Who y'all got? Clippers versus Nuggets, unless James Harden is on fire. Okay. Nah, but you gotta put that boy Leonard, bro. That's my biggest nerve. Like, listen, this bull, when he's in the playoffs and he's healthy, I don't think you can name a better player than him, right? Like, in the playoffs right now. Who's better than Leonard in the playoffs when he's healthy? I can't name one star in the NBA right now. I can't name one of them. This man was clutch. He won a championship with the Spurs. He was making some game-winning shots. Even though he did have Tim Duncan, one of my favorite players of all time. He did have Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. I understand all that. I'm not saying I do understand. But he was he was guarding the best offensive player, and he was scoring. And then with the Raptors, he was just clutch. And as a Sixer fan, I remember like it was yesterday, bro, when the ball bounced like 4 times and it went in. Tatum, nah, bro. Hold up. I want to see the Clippers win, but I think the Nuggets will win. Okay. I don't know. I think that series could go either way, bro. Like, all jokes aside, I think that series could go either way. I really do. I think that series could go either way, bro. Yeah, but we probably can. Yeah, probably. Tatum, nah, he ain't better, bro. Jimmy, I don't think he's better, bro. Curry, nah, I don't think so either. And I like Curry, but he hasn't been the best in the playoffs. Like, you look at his numbers in the playoffs compared to his regular season stats, and when KD was with him, if they didn't have KD, they would have never won, bro. That when they was going against LeBron and they would have never won that. And I like Steph Curry, but I don't think he's more clutch than Leonard, man. I don't know. Ant-Man, I like Ant-Man, but nah. Until Leonard, I don't know. Is Jimmy banged up? I don't know. I know he's been missing games. I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I think every player, at the end of the season, that's why I say the record don't mean as much as people think. As long as you get to the playoffs and you're not a play-in team, the most important thing in the playoffs is being healthy and being in stride and being in shape and all that. If Jimmy Butler's healthy, they got a chance. I know my biggest concern out of all the stars in the playoffs, my allergies, y'all. My biggest concern in the playoffs, right, is Dame. If Dame isn't healthy, the Bucks are losing, bro. In the first round, the Bucks is losing, bro. They losing to the Pacers, bro. But I'm not sure about Jimmy. If Jimmy ain't healthy, they're not getting past the Grizzlies. And they for dang sure ain't getting past the dang on Rockets without a healthy Jimmy Butler. I don't see that happening, bro. There's Jimmy, yeah, but because of KD. Yeah, that is true. KD had more shots, but he just seemed like he wasn't. I don't know. I don't want to say like I'm hating on Steph because I like Steph. Steph's one of my favorite players. Steph, one of my favorite players of all time, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you, so I don't want to say too much. But I like Steph, but I think Leonard literally won championships by putting his team on his back. Steph Curry didn't win a championship, in my opinion, by putting the team on his back in the finals or in the playoffs, period. Leonard literally made game-winning shots, and he was one of the biggest reasons why the Spurs won, was it 2 championships or at least 1? He was the only reason why the Raptors really, they didn't have Siakam. Kyle Lowry was pretty good as well. You know what I mean? But Leonard was on another level, bro, that year, bro. I'm telling you. And then, if it wasn't for him, but I understand where you're coming from, though. Steph Curry's stats would drop because of KD. But I feel like if Leonard is healthy in the playoffs, I don't think there's any player, just my opinion, and we can all agree to disagree. You know what I mean? I just think Leonard's the best offensively, defensively player, both ends of the court, then Jason Tatum, then Jaylen Brown, then Steph Curry. Name them. You can name any player. Ant-Man. And I know people are going to say, well, his defense isn't the same like it was. Yeah, he might not be the same exactly like he was like in his prime. He's still in his late prime. The problem is this man's always hurt, so people forget. People forget about Leonard because he's always hurt. It's kind of like, as a Sixer fan, people forget about Joel Embiid because the man's always hurt. When Joel Embiid is healthy, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. The problem is this man ain't never healthy, so it kind of defeats the purpose of, I hate saying when healthy. You know what I mean? Yesterday he got hurt. I just don't. Oh, he did get hurt. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. I really want OKC to lose. Woo! I want to see 2 small markets get to the finals. I want to see 2 small markets get to the finals, y'all. And my bad, I'm coughing. I got allergies. I don't know what the pollen count is out here, but it is crazy right now. I feel it. But I feel like I said, it's the Wild Wild West. And about OKC, you hope they lose. I want to see 2 small markets get to the finals. I know it's not going to be good for the NBA. I know people are going to be like, oh, it's not the Lakers. You know what I mean? The Lakers is the biggest brand in the NBA. Hands down. Hands down. Ain't no debate. Even if you don't like the Lakers, and I don't like the Lakers. I'm not a Lakers fan at all. But I'm not going to lie and say that I'm a Sixer fan, right? I'm not going to say the Sixers is a bigger market than Los Angeles. Heck no, not even close. Philly is not a bigger market than Los Angeles. Let's keep it real, right? So the NBA wants to see, like you said, bro, you said the Lakers and the Celtics, they would love to see that. But I want to see 2 small markets. I want to see OKC in the West, and then in the East, I want to see the Cavs. But will it happen? I don't know. I have no clue. He hit knees with somebody. Man. I hope he's all right because they have no chance without him. I don't care how good Steph Curry plays. He can score 50 points a game. They're not getting past the Grizzlies. They're not getting past the Rockets, definitely. They need Jimmy Buckets. They need him. He can't do it all by himself. Even Michael Jordan couldn't do it by himself. Even LeBron James couldn't do it by himself. You know what I mean? The greatest players of all time can't do it by themselves. You know what I mean? So, Steph Curry, he needs that other all-star next to him. And Jimmy Butler's a very good player in the playoffs. So, the Raptors had a squad they had a squad, but the game-winning shot, do y'all remember what they did to my Sixers, y'all? You talking to a Sixer fan, and I'm telling you right now, it's my worst nightmare. That's why I want them to lose. I'm salty. I want them to lose just because of that. And I'm not, listen, I don't got no personal hate for any player. You know what I mean? But I'm just salty. I'm just salty. Another player that I'm salty about is James Harden. You know what I mean? James Harden had a great season. And look what my Sixers did. We had Paul George. So we could have paid James Harden instead of paying Paul George. Like, listen, bro, I'm so irritated about the Sixers right now. The only positive is if we could keep our top 6 protected pick. If in the 2025 NBA draft. So let me break it down to y'all real quick, right? So the Sixers won't keep their pick, and it will go to OKC if it's not a top 6 pick. So the Warriors, not the Warriors. So the Thunder can literally win the championship and get a top 10 pick if it's 7 or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, dang, bro, 7 and down. They can keep their pick. But if it's 6 and up, the Sixers keep their first round pick. So that's the only positive. Hopefully we keep our pick. We got Joel Embiid injury prone. We got Paul George. I don't even know what to say about him. But I have to have an announcement. I made this announcement like a month ago. The Sixers will make the playoffs next year. And I know that sounds crazy, but they will, because the Eastern Conference is not that good. It's top heavy. Maybe the first 5 teams. But you could be a below 500 team and make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying the Sixers will do anything, but they'll at least get to the playoffs. 2022 for, yeah, the Raptors. Yeah, 2022 Curry put his team on his back. You think so? I'm trying to think. 2022. When did they win the championship without Kevin Durant? That's the year that's probably the year. That's probably the year. Whatever year that they won the championship without KD, I'll admit to that. I definitely admit to that. But I'm going to keep it all the way real with y'all, man. This playoffs is going to be very fun. I can't wait to cover the West and the East throughout the playoffs. It sucks my Sixers are not in it, but basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I don't know if y'all know that song. I think that's Bow. Is that Bow Weezy or Snoop Dogg? One of the two. But yeah, man. So the Eastern Conference has some big question marks there, man. I'll tell you. In 2016, okay, 2016. So I'll say that year. I'll say that year, definitely. Because they're not winning without Steph Curry. And I'm not trying to hate on Steph. He's an all-time great. He changed the NBA. Not everybody wants to be Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Not nobody can be Steph. There's only one Steph, though. You feel me? But he's the only player I know throughout the history of the NBA. Maybe I'm missing somebody who has range like Steph Curry, bro. I'm talking about from half court. As soon as he crossed the line, that man can hit a 3, bro. That man can hit a 3 from like half court pretty much. He changed the game. I understand there is Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. The list goes on. There's a lot of good. Klay Thompson, a lot of good three-point shooters throughout the history. But I don't think anybody can shoot like that bull. Oh, yeah, Dame can. Yes, Dame. Yes. Yes, Dame can when he's hot. But consistently, Dame ain't on Steph Curry's level, bro. Consistently, I'm talking about. Maybe certain instances, yes. I'm not going to sit here and cap. But Steph Curry, for me, is the greatest jump shooter in the history of the NBA, in my opinion. You know what I'm surprised about? How come in the NBA no one's utilizing the hook shot? Isn't the hook shot the most unguardable shot? If you master the hook shot in the post, I know maybe that's too old school. I don't know, but it's unguardable. Another thing, why don't people utilize the backboard? Remember when Tim Duncan used to shoot the ball and he used to shoot it off the backboard and it would go in? What happened to that? Everybody just wants to hit the net, the bottom of the net. Trae Young, Trae Young, Trae Young's, oh man. When I think of Trae Young, I think about Luka, bro. The Hawks made a big mistake. And I'm not saying that Trae Young isn't a great player. I think Trae Young will probably be in the Hall of Fame by the end of his career. Trae Young is a very, very good player. I'm not sure how many points he scored in his career, but I think it's over 12,000. So he has a lot of points in his career. The problem with Trae Young is how do you build around him? Who do you put around Trae Young so he can get into the playoffs and actually win? You know what I mean? It's just hard. I like Trae Young though, but he ain't Luka. That was a bad mistake right there. That was a bad mistake. And you know what's another bad mistake? The Mavericks. Look, I love Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis, when healthy, he's one of the best centers in the game. But come on, bro. The Mavericks traded Luka to the Lakers. Why the heck would you trade? Listen, hear me out, y'all. I'm about to go on a rant right now. I'm about to go on a big rant. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll go live for mostly every Sixer game in Philly. I cover both teams. I'm also going to be doing card reveals, and I will be covering the Western Conference and Eastern Conference playoff games with the scoreboard play-by-play. All right, so let me go on this rant real quick, right, before I get off this live stream. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, Trae Young or Jason Tatum. I got Jason Tatum because of his defense. I would have Jason Tatum all day. All day, bro. All day. And I think about his defense. But let me go on this rant real quick, y'all. You trade Luka in the same conference. But not just in the same conference. You trade him to one of the most historic, greatest franchises in the history of sports. So you trade him to the Lakers. But not only that, you should have got more back. Which you got Anthony Davis, first round pick. I forgot the dang on trade. It's forgettable. That's how bad it is. It's forgettable, bro. How the heck you trade them in the same conference? And ever since Luka got to the Lakers, you know what the worst thing about it is? The Lakers took their game up a whole nother level, bro. Offensively, at least, right? LeBron James looked like he lost like 10 years off his age. So if LeBron is 40, he looking like he's 30, and he's playing amazing. The Lakers look good. And it just sucks because I'm thinking to myself as a Sixer fan, who's the GM of the Lakers? I mean the Mavericks. Why couldn't the GM from the Mavericks call the GM from the Sixers? I would have gave up anybody. Paul George, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain. Anybody could have go. Anybody could go. You can have them. Anybody you want. Not all of them, obviously, but you can have Joel Embiid and Paul George. You can have Paul George and Jared McCain or whatever you want, whatever combination you want, you can have. And I'm sorry, because that's why I be feeling like no player is untouchable, bro. If you trade Luka, you could trade anybody. Yeah, I still love AD, but Luka come right. That's what I'm like, bro. Lakers get Luka, Morris, and Clubber. Yes. Like, come on, bro. Nico Harrison. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, right. Mavs get add Max. Max Christie. That's right. Max Christie. I like him. But come on, bro. Come on. And I think a first round. Yeah. That's some bull crap, bro. I'm like, you could have got more from the Sixers, bro. I feel some type of way, bro. I feel some type of way. But why didn't you trade him to the East? Why would you keep him in the West? Yo, that's some bold moves. And I'm going to say this right now. But on the side, the side note, I feel like the Mavericks could be a contender if Kyrie Irving didn't tear his ACL. If Kyrie Irving didn't tear his ACL, and if Anthony Davis is completely healthy, if their team is healthy, the Mavericks could have been a top 3 team in the West. The problem is they got hurt within like 2 weeks of the trade or whatever. They literally all got hurt, bro. Anthony Davis, I think, is back. But come on, bro. They're not doing nothing, bro. Mavericks don't got no chance without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a baller still, bro. But it's just like, dang, bro, that sucks, bro. I would not look. It sucks being a Sixer fan sometimes, even though I love my Sixers. But being a Mavericks fan, I couldn't imagine, bro. That's like us trading Allen Iverson in his prime, bro. You think Sixer fans is going for that? That's like trading Allen Iverson in his prime. Crazy work, bro. Crazy work, bro. For real. I don't know what they was thinking. I don't know what they was thinking with that dang on trade. But the salute to everybody in the building. Appreciate y'all. I'm about to get off in a few minutes. If you know anybody that likes basketball or baseball, tell them to hit up Mike Sports Vibes Ballin'. Tell them to subscribe to my channel. Share. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We definitely going to... And people that's in the chat, I want to say this again, man. Salute to all y'all that's on the live stream with me. And you don't have to ask to be a mod. I automatically make people mods that I consistently see in the chat. If I see people in the chat consistently, every mod that I have, literally, I just made them a moderator. So if you in the building and I see you in the building, I got you as a moderator. Thank you for this new channel. And again, my other YouTube channel was Mike Sports Vibes. It's a Sixer channel. I mean, not Sixer, Viking channel. But shout out to everybody that's in the building. Have a wonderful day. And then, shout out to Chris for real. Salute to you, bro. Salute to everybody. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. Peace.